It is time to do WrestleMania 41 predictions. And guess what? Reunited once again. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo, and the dirt sheet boy, Sean Ross Sapp.
I still got the trophy. It's back there. Yeah, it's
It's
just off screen, but yeah, right behind my finger.
wow, it's off screen, Sean. You couldn't even
I
put it
listen.
right there next to your
I
YouTube
you
plaque
know
where it should be.
that
Be
is that
perfect.
those are title belts. So I won those on really terrible indie shows right there. I was gifted that. Well, okay, you know what? I won that Quizlemania trophy back there too. You don't have one of those, do
You
you?
got a Quizlemania trophy? They actually sent one out?
Oh, it took quite a bit. Listen, I did so much work for them that they almost had to.
I was about to say, I feel like you've definitely given them a whole lot.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Oh man. All right, Sean. Well, how do you feel to be back here with your favorite co-host of all time?
I feel about like that, and you might recognize that because you also gave me that. It's a punch in the balls, is what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, good times, good times. My favorite career highlight. Nothing will top it. So Sean, we got to get into WrestleMania. I can't believe it. It's just a couple of days away. Dang, it's gone by so fast. Before we get into predictions, there's been like a lot of people I've been seeing with mixed emotions about how they feel about WrestleMania. Some people are incredibly excited, some people are not as excited. Where are you on the spectrum of excitement for WrestleMania 41?
I enjoy wrestling in such a different way. Like obviously I love the in-ring element of it, but as a person who writes news and reports news, I am interested in it from the news creation standpoint and finding out the hows and whys and all that stuff. And of course, seeing people that we have grown to like and do media with have very important moments of their life and career happen with them. I feel like I enjoy it in a little bit of a different way, but I'm always excited. I think the build could have been so much better. I have felt like over the last 6, 7 months, especially, really, listen, maybe for the last couple of years, it's been they have one really, really, really big thing on each show, and everything else is kind of just like, well, here you are. I think that has taken a little bit of my excitement away, but ultimately, WrestleMania always is surrounded by this sense of optimism. I always compare Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, and then the Raw after Mania and all that stuff. No matter how bad or good the shows might be leading up, you always look at that and you go, okay, here's a chance for everything to turn around, whether regardless of how you feel. Something big could happen that could change the entire direction of these shows. And that always keeps me excited.
I feel like even if the build hasn't been that great or 10 out of 10, how some people may feel, I do think though, Sean, that I can't remember the last WrestleMania that I genuinely did not like type top to bottom. And at least the last couple of WrestleManias I feel have always been really good. So that's why I'm not looking at it in a way where I'm thinking, oh my God, WrestleMania 41 is going to suck or anything like that. Because there's a lot of matches here that I'm genuinely looking forward to. I do wish that some of the storylines were a little bit better, some things were tweaked, but I guess that's a little too late now. But let's get to it though. I want to kick things off with probably the biggest match heading into it, and that is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Now, obviously, this is for the undisputed WWE Championship, and everybody is wondering, is John Cena going to get his 17th world title win? Now, Sean, I'm looking at this in a way where if John Cena doesn't win, it kind of feels like his heel turn was for nothing. However, I also feel like Triple H is in this era of trying to surprise people and trying not to give predictable outcomes. So part of me is afraid that he's going to go and not try to be predictable and try to have Cody retain instead of John Cena getting his 17th world title. What do you think?
I think the appropriate and perfect story for this is John Cena winning. And I think that's what will happen. And I think we have the summer of Cena, and maybe even CM Punk takes that title away from him to sort of end like kill that parallel, so to speak, because Punk did a very similar thing in ROH 20 years ago. Wow, I can't believe 20 years ago this year. But that's the way I think it will be. And then I think we get the John Cena babyface run to end his career, including him losing to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes saying, I've got to know that I can beat you before you go, type of thing. I don't know who retires him or anything like that, but I think that's what we get. And I think creatively, that would be the most satisfying thing as well. As long as John Cena is at the shows, because I don't want another Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar situation where the title isn't defended for like 3 months. What's the point if that's the case?
Sean, have you been keeping count of how many? Because how many dates did John Cena give us again? It was like 35 or something. How many
It
has he
was
done already?
it was between 30 and 35. And of course, he did Raw. He did the first Raw of the year. He did Royal Rumble. He did Elimination Chamber.
He
And
did
I
2
know
Raws in international Raws.
2 international Raws. Probably at least 1 or 2 that I'm forgetting, but we'll say 6. Then he's gonna have He's got SmackDown this Friday, WrestleMania, Raw after Mania. That's 9 right
We're
there.
almost out.
We
We're
got 2
almost
dozen more. We got 2 dozen more.
out.
So hear me out. With 8.5 months left, 2 dozen more. That's about like 3 per month. That's satisfactory. 2 TVs and a pay-per-view or PLE. I'd be fine with that.
Right, I see what you mean. I think, for example, if he wasn't gonna be on this week's SmackDown, it would feel weird. I feel like we wouldn't have the completed build going into this WrestleMania match. Like the whole time, I've been feeling like we still need at least one more thing between these two guys. So I was thrilled when they announced them for SmackDown because I don't know. I just feel like there's at least one piece of the puzzle missing until we get to WrestleMania.
But Denise, like it's so perfectly set up and they won't do it. They've never done this, but they need to start doing it. Actually, they did with Logan Paul a couple times. John Cena is a heel. Have him pre-tape stuff
Oh,
while he's
yes.
there. And he can do these backstage interviews and say, they don't deserve to see me. They don't deserve to hear my music. They don't deserve any of that stuff. So what I'm going to be doing is doing my interviews backstage in the privacy of my own locker room.
I feel like you've been preaching this for a while because
I
remember when
did.
they yeah, I remember you talking about this before where we wouldn't see John Cena and he was doing like house shows when he was doing that whole tour, but he wasn't on television and we are like, "Oh, we'd kind of like to see John Cena on TV." They had him there, so why didn't they just film a backstage or something? So, I mean, if they didn't, I mean, you'd think they'd do it now at least for WrestleMania to try to maximize try to get a little bit more bang out of their buck for the dates that he's already committed to. He's already there. The date has been completed. So yeah, I think they could have easily done that. Now, yeah, it's just it's one of those things that's a little bit interesting, but I think we're both on the same page here with John Cena getting this victory. So with that being said, before we move on to the next one here, Sean, which main event has you the most interested? Is it this one or the one we're about to talk about?
Oh, Cena Rhodes by far. Not even
What?
close. Yeah.
Really? For me,
Yeah.
it's the complete opposite.
Really?
Yeah, for me, it's the triple threat with Roman, Seth, and CM Punk.
Big
And
fan of favors, huh?
what
That's
for
you.
me,
You
I
just
think
love
I'm just
favors.
more interested in the people involved in that story. I think had
Sure.
we seen John Cena a little bit more, I would have been more interested in John Cena and Cody's portion of it. But I
Let's
feel
see.
like this one feels a little bit more predictable to me than the triple threat does.
You ain't seen Roman that much either.
I mean, but we've been seeing Seth Rollins and CM
That's
Punk.
true. Not that much of CM Punk. He ain't
I
there
feel like
half the
we've
time
seen
either.
him. We've seen him quite a bit.
Here and there. Yeah, I guess.
Why are you
Like
such a
my
hater?
thing is like how you're WWE, how can you not orchestrate a situation where all these top guys aren't on the damn show leading up to WrestleMania? Like, what are we
Right.
doing here? Like, it's you don't okay, they did do live events in Europe, but by and large, you don't do live events anymore. So like bring them to Raw and SmackDown. I don't understand it.
Okay, so I'm gonna ignore the fact that you're hating on this matchup here because I'm very excited. Like, this is my WrestleMania main event right here. I am
Sure.
so freaking stoked about this match. So this is the one for me. This is the one for me. I guess a part of me wants to see something big happen here. And I also have I have two things I want to see. One, I want to see coming out of WrestleMania, hope, indication, some sort of big telltale sign that says, Denise, you will be getting Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, either at SummerSlam or whatever dang event they decide to do it at later this year. I want to know that coming out of WrestleMania, that match is for sure happening, because that is the match I wanted to see heading into WrestleMania, and it's the match that I want to see heading out of WrestleMania. I do not think that this story with CM Punk and Roman Reigns has even scratched the surface. I feel like they can do so much more there, and that's what I want. So part of me wants to see something crazy, like Roman Reigns pins CM Punk or CM Punk pins Roman. I don't know, something crazy to make me feel that way.
I agree with you. I think that Roman and Punk have to have their one-on-one clash. All due respect to Rollins. I mean, listen, he deserves everything that he gets, but I think that the Punk Reigns match that should happen later this year should be the catalyst to facing John Cena. Like, will it be Roman and Cena again? Will it be Punk and Cena again? Have these two huge names clash, and that's what leads to Punk getting the title shot, because I think Punk should honestly beat Roman, and they can feud afterwards as well. This was one of the many multi-person matches, and again, I say this with all due respect to Seth. Seth could have faced a lot of people on this show, and he could have made it a big deal because I believe in him. Iyo Sky got added to the Rhea Bianca thing, and they've kind of made that the story. The 4 people in the IC title match, you didn't need 4 people in that. You could have split that up as well. But I look at this and I think Punk wins this as well. And I kind of hope he wins the singles match, and that drives Roman nuts. Now, I went on a rant on my show last night. Roman Reigns has never been a babyface, Denise. They just pulled tricks on everybody. This man
They
didn't do anything.
tried. They
He
tried.
he just went away. That's all he did.
Yeah.
He was absent, and in his absence, someone less likable started to say they were all the things that he was. Then it's like the opposite of every feel-good movie you've ever seen, where they realize they were a bad person and they get their family back. His family came back anyway. He said yeet one time. He didn't even say I'm sorry or my bad. That's on me would have worked. He got them all back, and he got CM Punk to help him out too. So he has been he proved that he could just abuse his family and his friends and have no ramifications.
Yeah, cause look, I really do see, it's complicated because it sometimes it feels that the way the fans treat a wrestler almost sometimes gets people confused in terms of, okay, is he a baby face? Is he a heel? What's he exactly done, right? But all of these things should be judged by the actions of the wrestler and what they're doing in the actual ring.
Yeah.
And as of right now, I mean, when Roman Reigns came back, though, he was a little bit more like babyface-ish. But lately, in the last couple of weeks, he's been feeling back like the same Roman that he was before, which personally, Sean, I prefer. I prefer heel, jerk, condescending Roman Reigns. That is what I want. So I'm with it. This is what I want. And I hope you're right. I hope CM Punk does get a victory. As we all know, this is his first WrestleMania main event. It would be kind of sick if we did see CM Punk also get a victory here, and like you said, drive Roman Reigns mad. I hope you're right on this prediction, because that's what I would want to see too. But with that being said, though, I do have a question for you. We mentioned all of these multi-men, multi-women matches. Why do you think WWE is specifically doing that across the board, it feels like? Why can't they commit to kind of like what we're seeing with John Cena and Cody one-on-one?
Well, I think it goes along with something Shawn Michaels said in an interview, and contradicts something that Triple H said in an interview, where Triple H said, "Oh, well, the internet doesn't mean anything. Those aren't real people." Yeah, I'm that's not verbatim. He didn't say that specifically, but he really minimized the opinion of online fans, as if everybody doesn't have the internet. Then Shawn Michaels said, "Oh, well, a lot of these people work really hard, and we try to give them all opportunities and moments." And I'm like, what are these moments if everybody gets them? And listen, I understand that. I believe Chelsea Green should be on this show because I believe she earned those types of moments. There are people that earn those types of moments that maybe it should be a different moment. Maybe that will make them work harder. Maybe that will make them make different decisions. And I think WWE is probably a little bit afraid of that as well in a free agent market where people can look and say, well, look at how this person's doing over here or this person's doing over here. I think it is balancing criticism versus satisfaction of the talent. And sometimes it comes at the expense of the viewer. Now, I think all the matches that we're talking about that have 3 or 4 people in them are going to be really great matches. But also, like sometimes I think standing alone one-on-one would be better. There are 4 singles matches that I think could happen instead of these 3 multi-person matches
Can
that
you
would work
imagine
well.
back in the day if they would have done Rock, Austin, and I don't know, throw in some random person in there? You'd
They
be like,
did.
"What?"
No, so they did
Like,
WrestleMania
what?
2000
Right,
when
with the fatal four-way,
the
right.
four-way instead, and they didn't have one singles match on that show, and that should have been, Denise, one of their hottest WrestleManias of all time. That is right smack dab in the middle of their prime as a company. Think
At
about
least
the
they
people that
corrected it because look at the WrestleMania we talk about. It's WrestleMania
sure,
17. We
yeah,
talk about that.
and there was some good stuff, like, the ladder match was great, but, like, Angle, Benoit, Jericho was also fun too, but, like, they had Triple H, Foley, Rock, Big Show, Kane on that roster. You had Jericho, Benoit, Angle. You could have made something. The Radicals were on that show. Like, you could have done something to where these matches all meant more, and that's what I fear we're going into because, hey, listen, who won the main event of that show, Denise? The guy who is booking now.
I was
Who
about to say.
Denise, who main evented Armageddon that year when they had a six-way title match? Triple
See,
H did.
multi-man matches are fine here and there, but to me, when it comes to WrestleMania, there is nothing hotter than a personal feud between two people, man or woman,
Yep.
I don't care. There is nothing more intriguing than that because you firmly believe these two people hate each other. These two people only have eyes of fire, eyes of, vengeance, fury for each other. And that's what I want to see. That feels bigger to me. And
Yeah,
so, but I will say this though, I do think that the last 2 weeks they've done a really good job of
they
making
have.
Seth Rollins feel a little bit more included into this. Because the first couple of weeks I was like, damn, bro, he's the third wheel in this. Last 2 weeks, they've at least integrated him a little bit nicer in there.
And obviously, a lot of this stems from one, they feuded as the Shield, so there's history there. But very little of that is mentioned. Very little is mentioned the fact that, like,
It was like one
yeah,
promo that they had between Roman and Seth about that, I feel.
but I mean, like, CM Punk could be saying, "I'm the reason you all are even here. Like, you were supposed to be with me, and then you went rogue." Because I mean, they've mentioned that this was pitched as a CM Punk thing. I can't believe they've never mentioned the Colt Cabana podcast, the make Roman look strong thing. Like, that's got to be being saved for the one-on-one.
I
But
hope
Denise,
so. That's what I'm saying. There's still a lot to scratch at.
but I'll say this, the reason why I'm glad that Seth Rollins is a part of this is I do think, like you mentioned, the hate that is included in them. I think Seth fits very well here. And
Because he does hate CM Punk.
you and I witnessed this in person, Denise. We looked right square at Nick Hausman asking him the question while CM Punk was still in AEW. You and I were sitting there waiting for our interview. And I'll never forget Nick looking at me and you while he's on the screen. And the thought in his eyes is, look at the headline I just got, guys.
I
Like,
heard
he
money
knew.
signs. You know that ching ching sound? That's what
Yeah.
I heard. I thought,
I knew.
holy shit, Nick Hausman just got the soundbite, the clip that is going to go effing viral. And how many years ago was that? 2022?
It was
2023?
it
Somewhere
would
around
be
there?
2023. It was over 2 years ago. And
And
Seth,
we're still
I'll tell you
talking
what
about
Seth did that was really genius that led up to this moment. He did it enough in character as Seth Rollins instead of Colby Lopez to where he was saying things that he believed, but it was with his full-on cowboy hat, sunglasses, ha 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 stuff, all that. He was doing that enough for plausible deniability to where he could work it into an angle if he wanted to, because he's a very smart man. And
Right, and that's
that's
what
why I'm
they
glad
did
he's
though. We've
involved.
seen that for like over a year now,
Of
this
course.
stuff with Seth and CM Punk. So it's like been there, done that already. So
Mhm.
yeah. All right, well there you have it. That's my main event that I'm looking forward to, and we both got CM Punk there. But let's keep it going. We got this next one here. Oh crap, hold on. That's not what
Uh-oh.
I meant to do. Wait, I have a format. I just wasn't ready. I dropped the ball. All right, there it is. Here
Oh,
we
there we
go.
go.
That's what I wanted to do, everybody. Cue the you fucked up chance. All right. So, with that being said, we got this triple threat match here: Rhea, Iyo, and Bianca. Iyo winning the title. Sean, were you surprised when Iyo defeated Rhea for that title on
Oh,
Raw?
yeah. Yeah, I was shocked because, I mean, we had heard back in January and Fightful Selected reported they had been eyeing Rhea and Bianca. And at the time, I had not heard that Io was involved in that. As I look at this, I love how they've done it because they've played this up perfectly with them as Io as the afterthought, because a lot of people shared the sentiment of me where they're like, okay, Rhea and Bianca would be fine. I think Rhea and Bianca, the first time they faced on the main roster, should have been a WrestleMania main event. Um, does this eliminate some from that? Maybe. We'll see. They could headline, a SummerSlam or something like that, but I think they are WrestleMania main event quality. That being said, I think Rhea stands the least chance of winning this because, one, Bianca's got a streak and Io has the story. Io has the story of them disregarding her and she can capitalize. But Bianca, how often do you have a person with 6 WrestleMania matches that hasn't been pinned? And that's where they are right now. She's never been pinned at WrestleMania.
That's kind of why I'm torn at this because again, Io has been disrespected. And if she loses the title, I almost feel like it's going to continue that disrespect. And I can see like what you said, where it's she capitalizes on them two, Rhea and Bianca hating on each other, where she ends up thriving on that end. But I also don't want to see Bianca lose her WrestleMania streak. I'm kind of stuck on that too because I wanted that to continue. And I don't know, maybe they feel either they want to continue it or they don't want to continue it. That remains to be seen. But that's something special to have another WrestleMania streak. And for a woman, I think that's pretty damn cool. I think for me, this was another case where when we thought coming out of Elimination Chamber that it was going to be Rhea versus Bianca, I was so excited about that. I kind of felt like things got a little too kind of crazy once they added Iyo into this, and they took forever. They took all of these different ways to get to the final destination here. And I thought that this story could have been told in a more streamlined manner than they did. And I would have been, to me, the reason why I'm excited for this match is particularly good old fashioned wrestling. I know I'm
Yep.
going to get a really good wrestling match out of these three. And that's the thing that has me most intrigued. It's not even, to me, I hate to say this, but it's not even the who's going to win. That's not even the most intriguing part to me. I just want to see them all wrestle each other.
Yeah, same.
That's it. And also with this one, I am thinking kind of like the same thing with the last triple threat. I also want some sort of indication that we are going to see that one-on-one match with Rhea and with Bianca. Now, Sean, I do have to ask you, what has been like the latest or the updates on the rumored Evolution 2 and whether or not that's legitimately taking place? And is there a world where if that does take place, that is the match we see?
I think it's possible. I think that main eventing Evolution would also be kind of cool. WWE is doing TV near the rumored location around that period, so I think it's a real possibility. And it wasn't something that was being discussed in the last couple of years up until recently. So that's good news. I think that's very good news. Again, I am also excited for this for the wrestling element of it, but I look at again 3 of these triple threats. And I think that this minimizes future one-on-ones or diminishes future one-on-ones with Rhea and Bianca, Roman and Punk. They wasted a Dom Pen or a Penta Braun Breaker one-on-one, which we have seen people are hot for, and maybe Dom Finn Balor in the future as well. It's like, man, I think they could have done better with these, but I'm excited for the match. And I think if I had to pick, I'd say Bianca's going to win.
I hope I'm gonna go with Iyo, but I would actually be thrilled if Bianca did win just to continue that WrestleMania streak. So I'm good with either Iyo or
I'm
Bianca.
I'm good with any of them. I'd be
Yeah.
happy with any of them, but yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving. Our next one that we have here is Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this was one that I think started off kind of a little people were not too hot on this matchup, right? For like several weeks, people were like, hey, man, We already saw this. This is the fourth time now that Jey Uso is going into this match with Gunther. And winning the Royal Rumble was huge. Nobody saw that coming either. It was just crazy how we got here. But the last 2 weeks, ever since the beatdown on Jimmy and then the slap that Jimmy gave Gunther, the slap that Jimmy gave Gunther, plus the beatdown that Gunther gave Jimmy. This not only helped Jimmy get some like relevance back on the show, but also really contributed to this feud and turned things around. I still wouldn't consider this story a 10 out of 10 in the sense that I'm like so excited for it. But I'm a lot more interested in it right now than I was coming off of it at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I thought that the build was very redundant for like a month, where it was match, beat down, all that stuff. Then when Jimmy got involved and the slap happened and the beat down happened, I thought that was really good stuff. And I did have concerns with how they would keep this hot with the extended period. I mean, it's like a 2.5 month period. It's a long time, but Jey Uso's winning this match. Michael Cole's gonna,
Let me ask you a question, Sean, because I think we're all going to say Jey Uso. How bad would it be for Jey Uso if Gunther retained? Just to play devil's advocate.
pretty bad. I think this is his opportunity to be the world champion. And man, he's had a lot of world title matches. He had a world title match against Gunther in January. Like, it makes no sense that they did that then. It makes no sense that a week before the Royal Rumble, Gunther beat Jey Uso for the title. And he's had a lot of world title matches against Roman Reigns and the like. He's got to do it. And we will. We'll hear Michael Cole say, 273,000 people in Las Vegas are yeeting their pants. Whatever it is that they're going to say, some outrageous number. And I think it will kick off night one because they want to set the tone as this being a gigantic party. And it'll be everybody doing this at the end of the first match. And everybody will be very excited and they'll be like, hell yeah, good weekend ahead. And they will set the tone that way.
Follow-up question, because I know that you know stuff. Okay? I know that you know stuff. With that being said, do you think, or what was the time frame? Because okay, we had Gunther and Jay at Saturday night's main event, and then we obviously had the Royal Rumble and everything that occurred after that, right? When do you think it was decided that Jey Uso would be winning the Royal Rumble?
I was told it was weeks ahead, which makes
Even before the Saturday
yes,
night's main event
because I
match?
asked and I was told it was weeks ahead, but he wasn't told until the day of, which tracks because last year, I don't know if you remember the reporting that we did on Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes kind of had an idea he was going to win the Royal Rumble, but then they came in the next day and they're like, "Oh, by the way, The Rock's going to show up, and we don't know what we're going to do." So, like, they don't let these people know until like day of, weekend of, and so forth. But a person near the creative of it told me that they knew that Jay was going to win the Royal Rumble a few weeks ahead.
Wild. Oh my God. All right. With that, well, let's keep it going. I think we're all on board here that Jey Uso needs to get that victory. But here's another one that I assume has been fun. You actually put it out there as soon as that this SmackDown confrontation went on. You put it on Twitter saying they went off script, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. This went from a matchup where I was excited to see, and then kind of along the way I wasn't so hot on it, and then the off the script moment happened on SmackDown, and now this match went from 0 to 100. Everyone wants to see the interaction between these two. What have you thought about the feud between them, and not just on camera, but possibly off camera too?
Messy, very messy. I will say this: it was nice of Charlotte to also shout out Nikki Bushi, who we lost a couple of weeks ago. Big fan of Charlotte's. I know that would have meant a lot to her, but whew, this got really messy really quick. I mean, I thought the promo in general was not good, like the emulating Tiffany's voice and all that stuff. That doesn't benefit anybody. The personal shots are things that you expected to come up at some point, but the way that it was done, so you got to be better than that. But then I thought the way that they recovered this week was really, really well because everybody's talking about it, make it look as real as possible. I think they did that exceptionally well. I think that they recovered pretty well. But what I pitched this on my show, Denise. This should have been the story to begin with. I feel like that side by side interview, as soon as Tiffany picked Charlotte, Bayley should have encountered Tiffany backstage and said, "Whoa, listen, we're good. You earned my respect with the match that we had, but let me give you some advice. Don't let this woman walk all over you because if you do, you will not beat her." And that would give Tiffany the sort of experience to do what she did in that follow-up promo. Like it was right there for them. Like there was a story to tell that fans want to believe, whether it's true or not. Charlotte politicking, playing the game, holding people down and all that stuff. Play off of that. Charlotte's an adult. She's a storyteller. She knows how to do it. I think that could have helped it out, but I think they're going to tear the house down, honestly. I think they're going to do really good.
Who's walking out champion?
Oh, it's got to be Tiffany. I don't know what they're going to do with Charlotte outside the title picture, but I think it's got to be Tiffany.
Yeah, I started this whole thing going, Tiffany Stratton needs to win. Along the way, I thought, oh my God, I think Charlotte's going to defeat her. But after I saw Tiffany Stratton fire back with those shots that she threw on SmackDown, I thought, oh dang, Tiffany Stratton's got some edge to her. I think for the most part, she's come across as a pretty, I would say, I don't know how to explain, but well-behaved person. I don't know how else to say that. She's like, she goes out there, she does what she needs to do. And this was the first time that I saw some real edge from her. And I thought, oh, you can't take that away from Tiffany. You got to capitalize on that. And so I do want to see Tiffany Stratton win and defeat Charlotte. I think everybody would be like, oh shit, because so many people expect Charlotte to win absolutely everything. So if Tiffany
Yes.
does win here, it's one of those things where people are going to be like, dang, I can't believe it happened. So I think that'll be the reaction. If Charlotte defeats Tiffany, oh, I don't even want to see the reactions to that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah, I am just a little disappointed that they were kind of lazy with the storytelling here. Otherwise, it was just them
They
going out in front
rushed
of
it in the
crowds.
beginning.
Yeah, and I'm like, you all should have set the tone very early for these two women to give them a story to develop, as opposed to won the Royal Rumble, is the champion, they face each other. Like the natural story came out. It's that the audience believes that Charlotte's trying to walk all over this young kid. It was there for them to tell. But I know these two are going to tell a great story in the ring because listen, Charlotte's one of the best performers in the world. And Tiffany is, quite frankly, what they're hoping is the next coming of Charlotte. So I think it's going to be great.
How do you feel about the heat Charlotte's been getting?
Well, I mean, from the audience, you're bound to get it. Like, listen, somebody on our Fightful account had commented on her WWE post and said Charlotte can't be the babyface in this feud a month and a half ago, and she replied and said, "Why?" Now, I don't know if that was genuine or in character, but if she doesn't see, well, I mean, she really should be able to. She is the Yankees. She right now, the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody wants to hate her because she wins all the time. That's it, and you got to be able to accept that and know your spot. I think she does, but she clearly got a little bit rattled in that promo, like when the crowd wouldn't let her talk and all that stuff. I mean, you don't see Dominic getting rattled by that. He plays into it, like he knows his spot there. And Charlotte, yeah, I don't want to talk about her personal life, but she was very open about that and her fear of coming back from injury. It has seemed like she has wanted the adoration of the audience throughout this process at times, but that could just be her separating personal life from the work as well. I don't want to speak for her in that sense, but
Right. No, but I do think you could make that assumption because when she
sure.
came back and she was talking about her being gone for the longest period of time from the fans, what was she gone for, like a 12 months or so, something along 14 months, something
Yeah.
along those lines. And she went through something very difficult. And Sean, any other person that came out and said, hey, I overcame this injury, I was gone from you guys, I missed you guys. Any other person, they would have gotten cheered. You don't boo somebody who went through a legitimate injury. And that moment when Charlotte was getting booed while she was talking about an injury, that was the moment that I knew, okay, now this has gotten like completely, like the heat has just skyrocketed. And I don't recall the last time someone on the female side got this amount of heat.
Yeah, I agree. And you got to play off of that. You got to make it a thing. You got to do what you can to make that an interesting part of the show.
Alrighty, with that being said, let's keep it moving and let's get into our next match here. And the next match that I want to get into is one that, speaking of builds, I don't know how we necessarily feel about this one, but AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Why are they even beefing? I'm assuming they just don't like each other. That's kind of about it, but I don't even remember how this all started.
Logan Paul's like saying he's old and stuff, and that's
I
about
don't
it.
know. What are your thoughts on this since AJ Styles is your long-haired twin?
I think AJ Styles is going to lose this match. I think Logan Paul is going to win, but I
No, for
think,
reals?
yeah, I think Logan Paul's going to win. There's a lot more
Think
future
Logan
upside.
Paul, but it's AJ Styles. You don't know. I can't accept that, Sean.
Why?
It's AJ Styles. I don't want to see him lose to Logan Paul
Nobody does, but he's gonna. That's gonna happen.
with the help of his influencer friends, I imagine.
Maybe, probably, honestly, like, yeah, probably something like that. And yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. What can I say? It's probably
Look,
what's
Sean, you
gonna
got me
happen.
clutching my imaginary pearls right now. I'm like,
And I think it'll probably be one of AJ's best WrestleMania matches too.
well, of course, AJ Styles has great matches with everybody, and Logan Paul is not bad in the ring. I will give him that much. He is not bad. But and he gets good heat too. I know they love that. But dang, it's just like AJ Styles is AJ Styles. I don't want to see him just lose. I'm sorry. I think it matters to me a little bit more than I thought.
But also, it's like he hasn't had like traditionally incredible WrestleMania matches or anything like that. Like the match with Edge was fine. It was okay. And I'm trying to think of other ones. He had a good one with Shane. That was a lot of fun. That might be his best one,
I think
honestly.
the reason for this for me is that I see AJ Styles in the sense that he represents us. He represents the wrestling fans in this.
Sure.
He is a person that has been doing this forever, right? And Logan Paul is an influencer turned wrestler.
Denise, you're
I
an
don't vibe with
influencer.
that. I don't vibe
You're an
with that.
influencer.
I'm not
What are
with
you talking
AJ.
about? What are you talking? We have more in common than
Not
with
an
Logan Paul and AJ
influencer.
Styles. What are you
What do you
talking
consider
about?
yourself an influencer, Sean?
I hate to use that term, but I mean, I, I guess I mean I get paid to do ad reads and stuff, but like I just look at
I
AJ
think
Styles'
there's a
history.
difference though. There's a difference between there's a little bit of a difference between being an influencer because you could be like a known person but not be an influencer because an influencer I feel is sometimes just
Sure.
whatever. I'm working around it. I'm trying to
But
make my
Denise,
own definition.
I'll say this. That much like journalist, when I put on my Twitter bio, not a journalist, it's not because I don't think that I am. I very clearly am. Like that's just the job. But people are so weird about the job title. They think it's like a self-appointed thing. They think that like you're calling yourself something that puts you on a higher pedestal than them. They work themselves into that. Now, influencer certainly has that connotation, but it's not like journalist, person who journals something. It is this person influences other people to do things because they have the ability to do so. So I think a lot of the hate that the term journalist gets probably should all be applied to every influencer ever, especially Denise.
Oh, thanks. So I mean, I think they all get bad, like sort of. I like whatever when you say, for example, like YouTuber, influencer, content creator,
Yeah.
streamer, everything, journalist, reporter, whatever you want to label yourself as. I feel like everyone is gonna have like some negative feeling towards that. I
Yeah.
can't explain it. Well, whatever. The point is that I do not align with Logan Paul. I align with AJ Styles. All right.
I mean, I think that Logan Paul wins, but I do think, like, as I look back at AJ Styles WrestleMania history, honestly, there's not a lot of incredible matches. I don't know if there is an incredible match. The Boneyard match is something that is completely separate and it is incredible for its own reasons. The Shane McMahon match might be his best in-ring match at WrestleMania because he had a tag with Omos, he had LA Knight. The one with Orton was like, okay. Nakamura was so disappointing. I think this will be AJ Styles' best in-ring WrestleMania match.
Wild. All right. Well, I'm still going for AJ Styles. All right, but let's keep it moving. Our next match that we have up is the Fatal Four Way to determine the next, or who knows, maybe Braun retains for the Intercontinental Championship. This is kind of I think this is one that I kind of had struggled with in the sense that I feel like there's two people. Like if Braun doesn't retain, I feel there's two people that can actually walk out as Intercontinental Champion, and I think it's Dom or Penta. However, I'm cashing in my pick with it being Penta only because of the way that WWE has positioned him so quickly to be someone that you can tell when they care about a performer. And I feel like they care about making Penta into something.
So I think Braun Breaker stands the fourth best chance of winning this because I think after this, to the moon, buddy, like world title level stuff. I feel like Penta shouldn't win, and then he goes and teams with his brother. After they introduce, I see one of two things happening, Denise. I think Dominic wins and Finn gets really jealous of him, or we are in a situation where throughout this match, Dominic actually impresses people, whether it be the fans, the commentators, everybody, and he is about to earn an honest to God win, and Finn Balor takes it from him. And that
So you
naturally
say the
starts that
fans
off.
finally get behind Dominic Mysterio?
Oh, I've said this before. They love to hate him. They are going to love him. They are going to
I
love
don't
Dominic
know.
Mysterio. This guy is so funny, Denise. When he was on Logan Paul's show and he said, "Oh, we just went to Japan. You ever been?" That was one of the funniest things I have ever heard a WWE wrestler say. Logan felt so awkward. It was incredible. He is so entertaining. This guy has went from what everybody saw as a nepo hire to an indispensable part of the roster. And you can tell he has grown up around wrestling his entire life, not just because we saw him playing PSP on TV, but because he has such a grasp of it. And I think the big winner out of this match, whether he wins or not, is Dominic Mysterio. But I think that all four of these men, when we look back, we're going to look at this and say, oh man, this launches either a big singles run for Penta or he's getting back with his brother, Braun Breaker to the main event, Finn Balor getting a title or a big feud, and then Dominic at a major pivot point of his career. Even if the face turn doesn't start yet, I think it slowly starts to build here.
All right. So who's your official pick?
I'm going to go with Finn.
Oh shit. Okay. So I'm going with Penta. All right. And next up we have we have quite a bit of matches here, but the next one that we have is one that I can't wait to see primarily because I want to see a brand new US champion, and that is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. So let's just get right to it. So why is Jacob Fatu winning and why?
I think he might not.
Get out of here, Sean. I would be
I'm
pissed if he
picking.
doesn't win. You think Solo comes in and ruins it for him?
Yes, that's
No,
exactly
I
why.
hate you, Solo. If he does that, I'm gonna be so mad, Sean, which tells me they probably are.
Yeah, I think that LA Knight wins this. And is this night 1 or 2?
I think I forgot what night this is on, but the point is
Well,
that I don't want this to happen though.
if this is night 2, this is much like the Yeet moment night 1. I think it opens the show. Yeah, to the audience, they're all partying, sets the tone night 2. That's how I feel. And Jacob Fatu again probably starts his feud with Solo because what do they have left for this group at this point? Roman Reigns ain't tied to him at all. The rest of the bloodline ain't tied to him at all. Literally nobody from the start of this angle is there. Like we've got two factions, Bloodline and Judgment Day, that don't have any of the original members in it anymore and are on their dying days, their fumes. Unless we happen to see like a big tag run out of Jacob Fatu and Solo. But this would be the second time that Solo cost Jacob Fatu a title. Because if you remember, he forced Jacob to give up his tag title.
Okay, so I'm gonna say no. I say Jacob Fatu wins, and make Solo Sikoa incredibly jealous because Solo Sikoa is supposed to be like the leader of the new bloodline. But once Jacob Fatu gets the belt, no one's going to be able to tell him anything. And then they could work their way into a feud. I'm sorry. I need to see Jacob Fatu get this belt.
That's fair. I get it. I want to see him win it, but yeah.
I'm gonna be so mad at Solo if he ruins it. All right, but let's keep moving on here. The next one that we have is El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. All right, so hey, are they adding mask versus mask for this or what?
They should. Denise, you want to know what my fear is?
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna say. Go, have at it, Sean.
My fear is that Donald Trump will be in attendance at WrestleMania.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were gonna say.
That's my fear. And that
You
El
were gonna
Grande
impose-
Americano wins right in front of Donald Trump. That's what my fear
Oh my
is.
God! Where's Donald Trump supposed to be at this weekend? Is it
I don't give a shit where that man's supposed to be this weekend. I don't care, but that's my fear. That's my irrational. Not that irrational. The fear isn't that irrational. Let's be real. It's not that irrational, but that seems like the type of thing that they would do. And listen, I know that you're looking at this and you're like, no, but it's also kind of hilarious how stupid it would be. Like just miraculously stupid to do this. But
I'd be so annoyed. I thought you were going to say something totally different. Have you told your viewers that you found out you had a Mexican relative?
I do. I do. What can I say?
That's what I'm
What
saying.
can I
I
say?
thought you were going to be like, oh, I'm
Listen,
here too. I don't know
the text to Denise have been phenomenal since I found this out.
I'm just letting you be flattered, Sean, because
Yes.
I get it.
I'll tell the I'll tell the
nothing better
story
than being
without giving
Mexican.
away. I'll tell the story without giving away too much. At my wife's occupation, she has someone that helps her, and she introduces herself and says SAPP, and this woman, who is a Mexican woman, says SAPP like, and then says my aunt's name. And she's like, yeah. And then we find out we are cousins, which we kind of knew, just had never had a relationship or anything like that. So listen, Denise, you and I are practically the same. You and
Man, I
I
have a
bet
lot
we're
of questions
cousins.
about Kentucky. All right. No,
We're probably
definitely not.
cousins.
Definitely not. All I'm gonna say is this. I feel like, yo, that stereotype of people being like everyone's related in Kentucky. You know how many people you have told me in the last 5 years? Oh, I found out I'm related to this person. I found out I'm related to that person.
No,
I
no.
have not discovered one new relative my whole life. The
Well,
relatives that I
now,
knew have stayed.
now hold on, Denise Sapsado.
starting
Let's
to
just chill
wonder.
out real quick. Let's chill out real quick. First off, there hasn't been that many. Now
Yes,
listen,
there has. You're always like, oh yeah, so it turns out that this person was working with this person that knew this person that was related to this person that was for how long have I known you, Sean? 5 years. Yeah, many times I've heard stories like this from you. This is not surprising whatsoever.
this wasn't surprising to you? Really? Really? Me telling you that I'm now celebrating Day of the Dead instead of
Oh my God,
instead of
get out of
Halloween?
here. Fine, then you
Come
know
on.
what, Sean? How about this? You want to really experience being Mexican? Fly
No.
yourself here to California, and I will take you to my family parties and my family gatherings, and I want to see how you're gonna react in those situations.
Denise, listen, you know where I was going to stay the week of your wedding. I think you already know that I experienced some of that. But let's see.
I want to see you completely out of your element, fish out of water. Like, oh my God, what do I do?
Denise. Denise. Oh, Denise, you do not know me. Anyway.
No, I'm just
Anyway.
saying, it's so funny. I do know you. That's the funny part. I do know you, and I know how you would react in certain situations.
I'm not going to get into my personal life with Denise. I had a Mexican girlfriend when I was a teenager.
Oh my gosh, your Mexican girlfriend from Kentucky is not the same as a Mexican
That is not where she was
girlfriend
born,
from, like,
Denise.
wherever.
This may
I'm
come
saying
as a
is that it's
surprise to
different
you.
in Kentucky than it is in other places, okay?
SMH. I think you underestimate Kentucky.
No.
I think you
No.
do.
No. All right.
I'm gonna drive.
We
I can't wait to drive after this show. I'm gonna drive 5 minutes down the road, and I'm gonna send you a video of it.
Okay, fine. And I'm gonna drive 5 minutes down the road and send you a video.
You do that. You do that. This will be very entertaining. This will be
Oh,
very good.
all right. With that, let's keep it moving. What do
El
we got?
Grande Americano is gonna win.
Get out of here. Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio. All right. I almost forgot to even say my pick on that. All right, here's a matchup that I'm really looking forward to. And I've been based off of what I've been seeing from fans, they are too. I'm so in love with what Naomi has been doing as the heel Naomi. So good to the point where I'm almost rooting for her in this, although I know Jade has to get her revenge, or else they're gonna make her look a fool if she doesn't. But man, flowers to Naomi for the work she's been doing.
She's doing great. I did think that the last promo was a little bit corny, but man, oh my god, the promo work that she has done leading up to that, like it's just been fantastic. And I love the proceed with caution uh tagline as well, her catchphrase. I think it's great.
And the gear.
It's one of those where I think Jade will win, but I want Naomi to win at this point. I think she deserves it. It's huge. She stepped up like to do that this deep into your career. This deep into your career to have a career defining singles run and turn. The promo work that she and Bianca did, the camera work that the crew did setting up for that, like with Jade charging out and all that. They killed it. Like even the Elimination Chamber reveal was so fantastic.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I feel the exact same way where I know Jade is winning, but dang it, I would love it if Naomi came out and surprised me and actually won this match. I think with this character, she could legitimately be a future world champion. With that being said, next up, speaking of champions, we got the tag team titles on the line, the War Raiders versus the New Day. I feel like this one we all know it's got to be the New Day, right?
Yeah, it's New Day. Got to be New Day.
I don't think I cared too much about this match. I don't
They
know. Do
haven't
you
given
feel
you a reason
stronger?
to.
All right, well, good. I'm glad I'm not the only
Well,
one.
they've got so much source material to play from, Denise. Both of the men that Xavier and Kofi are facing had career-threatening neck injuries.
That is true. That is true.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, show that human side of the War Raiders. For the love of God, like I've interviewed Ivar, and he has been very candid with me about it. And like, it's just such a lovely guy. And it's okay to also be a lovely guy that whips people's asses. Like, nothing about his interviews made me go, well, you know what? I don't buy the work that he does in the ring. So your audience will feel that way as well. But they should have done so much better in giving these people the time to tell this story,
Both
especially based
sides.
on that.
Both sides.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the War Raiders right now are connecting with people. It doesn't feel like people care. The New Day turn was so good, and then the follow up to that wasn't that great. So I do think that both sides kind of needed a little bit more love and attention. But
Yeah.
with that being said, though, we got a next matchup here. And that is speaking of love and attention, wow, they kind of just threw this together so nonchalantly. How did you feel about this being the WrestleMania plans for Liv Morgan, who had such an incredible 2024 year, Bayley, who had a really big WrestleMania moment last year? Are you at all surprised?
Yeah, I'm very surprised, even though I shouldn't be. I should not be surprised that they showed absolutely minimal care to the IC, US, and tag titles that they have never truly had any long term direction for, but here we are. And now you've got a tag team title match featuring one, a woman that carried your singles division while Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch were both out. You have a title, a champion that you have established, and you're giving title shots to people who lose top contendership matches. And then you have a woman who has been quite frankly, the glue of your women's division for a decade, and she's being the glue again. And it will probably, more than anything, serve as a catalyst as a rematch for Bayley and Lyra. I've got Judgment Day winning this.
Yeah, same. I don't think that they need a thrown together tag team with Lyra and Bayley to make this happen. Do you think they ever actually considered to do Bayley and Roxanne at WrestleMania at all? Or do you think that was never in the cards?
I think that was definitely discussed. I think it was probably considered, maybe even planned. And then certain people aren't back that they thought would happen, but Bayley and Roxanne should have been happening at this WrestleMania with Roxanne winning to solidify her as a player in the main roster division.
I feel ya because it's one of those things where she was in such big spots the last couple of PLEs, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. Thankfully, we got to see her on SmackDown, but it feels weird, that she didn't get this matchup with Bayley, considering that they had told enough of a story to get there.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
Okay, and this next match is one that I'm really looking forward to. I've actually really enjoyed the work that Drew and Damian Priest have done together. They're going to have a Sin City street fight. Are you digging this feud as much as I am?
Yes, and I think this has the possibility of being one of the best matches of the entire week because Denise, you and I have done media with both of these gentlemen a million times. Wonderful people, but also they're very aware of the things that are said online and how people are like, "Oh, really? This match? This one after the work they put in last year to be dismissed and disrespected like that?" I think they're going to go out there and make some points. I think they are going to go out there and intentionally have an insane match. And this is the one I'm most looking forward to. I think Drew wins this year because Damian Priest won last year. Because technically, this is a rematch of last year's WrestleMania.
I think Drew needs to win, but that was the reason why I wasn't going to be all like gung ho on this feud because I knew that both of these guys had a chip on their shoulder.
Yep.
Both of them. I think Damian Priest wants to prove, hey, I want to be back on top the way he got a really good taste of it being world heavyweight champion. When you get a taste of being on top, you want to stay there. And
Yeah.
I think that's like maybe Damian Priest's mentality. I don't know. I'm just assuming, of course. And then with Drew McIntyre, I mean, he could argue that he could be in a match with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, you name it. He could be in there with the top guys of WWE. And I think he also has a chip on his shoulder where he's constantly being put in in spot B, spot 2, instead of being seen as number 1. And so I see two guys with two chips on their shoulder, and I can see this also being one of the best matches of the night.
And it doesn't necessarily feel like to me like a match we saw 4 or 5 times last year, even though we did. Drew beat him on Raw in January. Damian won by cashing in. But then we had Damian beating Drew at Clash at the Castle. Damian beat Drew and Seth at Money in the Bank. So Damian's like got 3 wins over him
And
leading into this.
it
Like,
doesn't feel that way.
yeah. And then you had Damian and Jimmy Uso beating Drew and Nakamura. Was it a few 3-4 weeks ago? You had that. They have been tied together on PLEs so much. Mania, Clash at the Castle, Money in the Bank. You could argue Royal Rumble because that's what led to this, and Elimination Chamber. Now Mania, 6 since last April. Like it's been really an underrated cog in the WWE machine.
I feel ya. So I'm with you on Drew McIntyre winning as well. All right, so we got one more, and this is not necessarily a matchup to talk about, but you know where I'm going with this. It is opponent. Who is going to be Randy Orton's opponent after what went down with Kevin Owens? Sean, there was also a lot of people. I remember when Kevin Owens announced his neck injury, there were so many people that were not accepting it. They were like, this is a work, this is a work. And I'm like, all right, guys, I think that's it. Like, I know we wished it was a work, but it's not. At this point, unfortunately, it sucks what happened with Kevin Owens, but here we are. Who is going to be Randy's opponent in his 20th WrestleMania match?
So to say this, Kevin has not had surgery yet. He has not had surgery. If it is a work, they are working everybody in the company. Like that's the thing. They're working everybody in the company, and I would never rule something like that out because it's pro wrestling, but doesn't seem like it. So my top 4 options: Nick Aldis, who I would love to see get a WrestleMania appearance moment. Solo Sikoa, where if that happens, Jacob Fatu probably costs him the match. Sami Zayn, I don't know his health status, but him replacing Kevin Owens and him saying, I know Kevin said he was hurt for a while, but look back and see when his last match was. It was against me, and I feel really guilty, regardless of what happening, of perhaps ending my best friend's career, even though he won, or even though he emerged. And then my fourth pick is Rusev, a returning Rusev who crushes Randy Orton, breaks his back with the accolade, his surgically repaired back, and we use that as a launching point for a feud for them.
Which one's the most favorable which is the most favorable option and the most realistic option?
The one I prefer, I mean, very slightly. I prefer Rusev. Right under that is Nick Aldis, and right under that is Sami Zayn. I don't want the Solo Sikoa one to happen at all.
But I feel like that one's the most realistic based off of what we've seen, though.
And I completely agree with you. I
And I'm just
completely agree with
like,
you.
it is what it is, right, at this point. So I'm
Yeah.
going with Solo just because, not because I want it, but because that's just what that story is looking like it's headed. So there you have it. Alrighty, that was our WrestleMania 41 predictions video reunited once again with Sean. Before we wrap things up, of course, Sean, thank you so much for doing this video with me. Please tell the people where they can support Fightful and also check out your content as well.
Fightfulselect.com. We are expanding heavily onto other platforms. Facebook, we've just signed a deal with TikTok. We're going to do a lot of stuff over there. We've got Instagram as well, but Fightfulselect.com. I know a lot of people say, why would I ever pay for wrestling news? There is not one aggregator that exists in wrestling that I haven't had to correct for one of our stories. So get it straight from the source. I'm going to do a number of lives this weekend on Fightful Select, Q&As. We got a whole bunch of scoops. It's going to be a good time. If you subscribe one time, you want it to be during Mania week.
I'm sorry, Sean. I get all my news from the no-name Facebook accounts that I see.
You should.
123 Wrestling 4976.
Yeah,
okay?
with the
They're
AI
more
pictures.
accurate.
The AI pictures of Kevin Owens with a tube up his nose.
No,
Like,
they be doing
since-
some crazy stuff on there.
Legitimately, Kevin Owens in a hospital gown. AI.
Wait, someone really did that?
Yes, it got 30,000
No,
likes,
Sean.
Denise.
I thought
30,000 likes.
you were joking. Someone did that? That is horrible.
It's really terrible.
Oh my God, that's and it's crazy because I click into the comments and people buy the stuff they see. They like send well wishes. They like I saw that with Jade. They did something similar with Jade, and I see like AI enhanced images of the women, and I'm like, you guys do
It's
realize these
gross.
are not real pictures, right? And I go and I look at the comments, and it's like, you're so sexy. Oh, I love this picture of you.
Oh my
And
God.
they're talking to them like if that's the person posting. You see what I'm saying? It's so strange. It's bizarre. I do click on the comments though, because I want to see if people are falling for it, and they
Yeah.
are, which is just insane. But
They always fall for it.
I think, I think for the most part though, it's like I don't even know what to say. Just be careful on Facebook, guys. Be careful. Be careful everywhere. Double check.
I'm trying to clean it up over there. I'm doing my best.
It's
trying
not
to
gonna
debunk.
work, bro. You're working against a lot of people on there.
I'm gonna do it, by God. I'm gonna do it.
Alrighty, guys. Well, there you have it. I'm gonna post all of the links in the description box below. As always, thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments section below what your matches that you're most looking forward to and your predictions for WrestleMania 41 are. Also, make sure to click right over here because this is the video that YouTube thinks you're gonna like the most, and subscribe right over here. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.